It's 9 o'clock. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first on the agenda is approve the minutes of September 16th, 2024 as written.
I'll move.
Oh, second.
Moved by McCurry, seconded by Meeks. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye, motion passes. And I think we only have one miscellaneous, but they're at 9:10, so... Road and Bridge is coming in. Yep, they're at 9:20. So we'll go with River C.
Nice, wet, slow start out there this morning, but nonetheless, everybody's rolling in.
Good deal.
About a truckload, it seems like.
Thank you.
And it's 57 degrees. Great fall weather.
Some of those block lighters don't like it much, but the rest of them sure do. You got the roof on the jail area ongoing. They should be wrapping that up this week. Hopefully keep it in dry. We had a little bit of it, didn't get all of it down, so a little wet in there this morning, but as expected with the weather coming in, then they'll be off-site probably a week or two, and then they'll be going up on the north roof. We got two weeks for the MEP guys to shoot in all their hangers and their roof curbs for the units and everything. And then we should be almost dried in besides the Sallyport and a couple small roofs. But nonetheless, looking forward to that. Got the brick guys going on the south and the east side. They're going to run that whole east side up at once. Got their scaffold back in the corner back there to start going up with that. They're still working. They're working on the pod E to F divider wall. They should have it wrapped up here in the next day or so. And they're working on central control, working that wall up. They'll have it. It'll top out beginning of next week. Then the concrete guys will come in, pour that floor, and be ready to go on that side. Interior framing, got most of it up last week on the level 1 sheriff's department side. They'll be following up, going upstairs, and starting shooting some of those walls this week as well. That's about it. It's the big items, at least. Roughing, MEPs ongoing. Got a lot of ductwork and pipe and conduit going up in the jail area.
About how many weeks are you guys ahead of schedule? Do you figure? Is it weeks, months, days?
Big items. Obviously, the brick is ahead. Rough end is tracking. Luckily, like roof and brick, we did get started early, trying to get ahead of the sales. Overall, I'd say about a wash, about even. Just rough end wise is where it's going to slow down. Mm-hmm. Exterior wise, it is a little ahead.
Okay.
But hopefully keep pushing it. We aren't going to back off for sure.
There was a good change from last Monday to this Monday when I seen it. So
yes, sir.
Yeah. Down here throughout the week.
I was telling Eric, we went in. I was in there after lunch one day in the sheriff's office, and there was no walls, and came in 2 hours later, and they had walls stood up. Mm-hmm. Don't take long, it changes pretty quick.
Change it pretty quick.
But yeah, it's nice to see most of it framed up. You can see the offices now, see it come together.
Yeah, I think Gene Murray put some pictures out there that he took last week, and it was pretty good. Had some good pictures of it. So
Good deal. Like to see it.
Yeah.
Hopefully everybody likes to see the progress as we do.
It's
Nice to move forward.
It looks good. It's easier writing those checks and signing those checks when you see a lot of improvement.
Right. Agreed. And unfortunately, it's gonna not slow down, but the visual slowdown is going to be coming. The guy's coming to measure all the windows, and we'll have the window and the mock-up this week, and it's moving.
Moving right along.
There'll be some big checks coming, though. I just mentioned to Steve, you know, we've written our dollar amount on the jail, we've written less than a third of our money's going out.
Right. And like this last month, we had Poly Jail had all their doors, their metal wall panels. They're starting to get a lot of their big ticket items coming in. He said, well, we can send them down there. We don't quite need them yet, but
Yeah.
we'll be ready for you when you're ready. At least they'll be ready when we need them.
Good deal.
That's why they got storage facilities throughout the country.
Big ones.
Yeah.
They got a lot of big ticket items.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Thanks very much.
Take care. 5 minutes ahead of schedule. SOS, are you gals here? Yep. Morning.
Morning. I'm not sure exactly. I was asked to be here today in regards to a proclamation. That's all that I was told.
Yeah, there's a proclamation proclaiming the month of October 24 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month that's out here.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if you had anything to speak of or wanted to speak of it or about it or.
Well, my last day as SOS Advocate down here is this Thursday. So we're going into Domestic Violence Awareness Month with Emporia coming down to support victims of domestic violence. And it is crucial that we promote it. I do what I can, and I hang up flyers, and I partner with ECAN a lot to help spread awareness for the domestic violence.
Okay.
So they will probably be bringing down some flyers and posters to help hang up around town and
Spread the word.
spread the word.
Spread the word. Well, the motion moved to approve the proclamation proclaiming the month of October 24 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? I'm not going to read the whole proclamation.
That's fine.
We don't, they can come in and read it if they want to. Moved by Knight, seconded by Meats. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Thanks for what you all do with the public and helping individuals in need.
It's an honor. I've seen an increase just over the last 2 months of how many people I've served down here.
Wow.
So it is, I went from maybe 2 or 3 active clients throughout the summer to I'm at 8. So it's out there. It's just
Mental health is the biggest issue in the world today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is.
One of these days I might be one of them. I need help, that's for sure. I think I actually say what normal is, so
There's no such thing as normal. I think we're all normal in our own kind of way.
all normal in our own
Oh,
way.
here it is, Doug. Looking right at it.
What's the main cause of such an increase? I mean, is there anything that points to anything, or?
It can fluctuate from just the financial season, I see an increase when school starts, and throughout the holidays, there's an increase because stress and trauma plays a lot into that though.
I'm sorry?
Trauma.
Oh,
If somebody's coming from a broken home and all they know is violence growing up, that's usually how they end up having their family, just live in violence. So it's kind of generational, and there's a lot of factors into
I was
it.
just curious, because you said that you had a big increase in the last,
We go through waves to where it seems like it dies off kind of during the summertime, most of the time, and then picks up back up towards the school year. And I don't know if it is stress related, because now you've got kids in and out of the house even more stress, and then you got the financial aspect of it all.
part of it could be big.
It's so hard to break that cycle. Like I say, when people learn that that's what's normal,
If that's their
Yeah.
normal, that's their normal.
Yeah.
then it's hard to change that they saw how their parents react to a situation, so they do the same thing.
Yeah. I do a lot of education with people that I work with. Like, this is okay, this is healthy, this is not. Like, just because they get mad at you doesn't give them the right to hit you.
Right.
Or if you make them angry, doesn't give them the right to hit you. It's about processing those words and talking it out versus getting violent.
And it's not only physical, it's words too.
I was gonna,
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say, it's not just physical. it's
Mental abuse, verbal abuse is,
And it leads to the other.
it leads to
It
the
does.
other, and it creates more issues.
And a lot of
especially
things
kids involved.
that I try to educate people on is reactive violence. At some point, like if I was being cornered in a wall, yelled and screamed at and spit on and everything else, I'm going to get that fight mode put in me, and then I'm going to retaliate.
Right.
But that
And
would be normal.
it is normal.
Human
Yeah.
nature reaction.
Yeah, just to protect, self-protection.
Fight or
And-
flight.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that usually ends up the victim, the primary victim, in jail too, because
Sure.
the abuser will call and say, well, they hit me, versus not saying the whole story, well, I pushed them in a corner. I didn't give them a choice.
Right.
You feel like you get an atmosphere where you need to have somebody else with you for protection? You ever get that?
I do. Thankfully, SOS has been fantastic about making sure I have a alarm that I can wear around my neck if I'm meeting with
I
somebody.
wonder if you had,
And I have security cameras around the building. There's been a couple of times where I was working with a victim and their abuser was knocking on my door, and I didn't know who it was. And it was kind of scary
Sure.
for me at that moment. But thankfully, the court officers, they're amazing in watching my office. If I'm over here and they see somebody at my office, they're texting me or calling me, say, hey, are you expecting somebody? So,
Yeah, it's a tough job, tough role.
it is. It's been an honor. It really has been.
Thanks for everything you've done for us.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks very much.
See Adam's in here, yeah, Adam's sitting in the corner. Road and Bridge, Adam, you're up. We might be out of here by 10:30 today.
I'll be quick, well, not as quick as usual, but
Yeah.
quick as I can be. No call outs over the weekend that I'm aware of. A little bit of change in weather there is gonna slow us down this week for fog sealing. We were kicking some butt there the last couple of weeks fog sealing, so we are just about to wrap that up. We got a little bit of work left here around Burlington, and then get the Autobahn done. I believe once we get all that wrapped up, we'll be done fog sealing. Gonna take a couple days off with the cool temperatures and see what they kind of do towards the end of the week, and see if we can't fire back up. Just need a couple, 2 or 3 days of back up in the 80s, and we'll get that stuff done.
They're not talking anything in the 80s this week.
No, and actually the 70s isn't bad, but the lows in the low to mid 50s
At night.
at night, it really needs to be 65 degrees and rising before we start spraying that stuff. And then with the moisture, it can't, roadways can't be even damp before we spray that stuff. So today was out, and see what tomorrow does and the rest of the week. So just come about a week short. Hopefully we get a few more days later on before it goes to snowing. So that's the gist of that. I've got a few motions. I don't know how you guys have them listed here.
I've got the fall cleanup
Okay.
is the first one that I have on there, I think, and then the pickup.
Yep.
So, motion upon the recommendation of the Road and Bridge Superintendent to designate October 14th to October 19th as Fall Cleanup Week at the request of the county clerk to publish notice of same. And, go ahead.
Also moved.
I'll second that.
Moved by Meeks, seconded by Thompson. I would also add that there is a charge for tires. All household, trash, loose property, bags, yeah. So basically, everything but tires will be free, correct?
Yeah. And then commercial still
Commercial still charged.
charged, yeah.
Moving seconded, any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. The next one is upon the road and bridge superintendent request to solicit formal bids for 1 half-ton pickup and 1 3/4-ton pickup, with optional trade of T15, 2006 Chevy, 2500, VIN ending in 9214. Funds to be paid from general fund, public works equipment line item.
That's the ones that we tried before and didn't get but one bid back, so I reached out to some other dealers, Emporia, Garnett area. So we'll send those out to, I think, about 5 or 6 different places.
Okay, that's good. I'll move.
I'll second.
Moved by Thompson, second by McCurry. Any other discussion? Because I was just thinking that we had just done something
Yeah,
about some pickups.
same ones.
Okay, right. I'm falling in line. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Thank you. Next I have the trailer.
That's the next one on our list.
Yeah, based on the recommendation of Road and Bridge Superintendent to accept bids from Sandcrest Trailer Sales for 1 2025 Diamond C HDT 210 GN to purchase price total of $19,900 as best bid to be paid from general fund equipment line item. I will move.
I'll second.
Knight moved, Mead seconded, but when I see this GN, is that a removable gooseneck?
No,
Okay,
it's just
because that is a new line that's available out there as
Yeah.
RGN.
yeah.
Fifth
No,
wheel
it's
trailer.
just a plain gooseneck.
Didn't we talk about this a little bit here
Yeah.
a week or two ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that, when I mentioned the company down there, they have the best pricing in the country.
Yeah, and their availability was, sooner than the other closest competitors, so, I mean, we're looking at, mid-November, early to mid-November to receive this, so,
Where's Sandcrest out at?
it's just between Joplin and Springfield.
A little town called Billings, Missouri.
Well, I think, yeah, Sarcoxy,
Yeah.
Billings, I think there's 3 different locations over there off the interstate.
One over there east of Springfield too, can't think of the name of the town, but they're good people, good business.
We got a lot of stuff set
They've got a lot of equipment. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Thank you.
Adam, back on the trucks, like the 2006 Chevy, how many miles does it have on it?
Oh gosh, 250, 260.
I was just curious.
That truck was, when it was originally purchased, was the Road and Bridge Supervisor truck, then it's just kind of been
Passed through.
passed around,
Okay.
and
I was just curious.
it's at the end of its life. Before we're parking out in a dead row with a blown motor or something, we're gonna
Yeah, for sure.
get rid of it.
Cause that thing's got probably 35,000 hours on it, would be my guess. If it's got
It's-
220,000 miles.
It's
well,
hard to
that's
tell how
probably-
many
yeah.
engine hours is on that. I'm guessing the meter doesn't go that high.
Yeah. Well, the sheriff pickup that I bought from Cromwell, the truck had 165 or 68,000 miles on it, and the hours on the engine run time was 25,000. 7 mile an hour average, I think.
Yeah. Well, in our line of work, there's just like, fog seal, there's a lot of moving and idle time and flaggers, and, you gotta have our lights, and
So running for all the lights to be on.
yeah, unless we wanted to start carrying jump packs and,
Then you buy more batteries.
yeah.
Mhm. Yep. Oh, the next one.
Oh, the geology.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Based on recommendation, the Road and Bridge Superintendent approved notice to proceed and acceptance of agreement with Cook, Platt, and Strobel Engineers, PA for professional geological services of bridge replacement for County Bridge Number 2, located 5.5 miles east and 1/8 of a mile north of Lebo, as per agreement, and direct Road and Bridge Superintendent to sign all related contract documents. Funds to be paid out of the Special Bridge Fund. Now, this is the bridge that got the 1-3 grant, is that right? 1.3
Yeah,
grant?
on Links there, just south of 28, just
Yeah.
north of the interstate.
North of the interstate.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Moved by McCray, seconded by Knight. Any discussion?
Other than receiving a 1.3 million grant out of 1.4 project, it's fantastic to get awarded that grant.
Right.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Plus, it
Yeah.
helps our bridge fund.
Yes, yes.
Keeps it in place for longer.
And Kenny didn't put that lump sum price in there because, I mean, it will fluctuate, but, they did quote $14,650, but that could change.
14,600 needs to be in the motion somewheres, I guess. Probably up to, just for clarity.
For a number, probably.
What do we,
Just add for the amount of, superintendent's proceed, agreement with Cook Platte Stroke for subservice. I would do after, replacement County Bridge Number 2, estimate was 14.6, is that what you said?
14,650 on the geology.
14.6
as per agreement in the amount of 14,600, what?
$50. 14,650.
Is that okay right there?
But you said that could change, correct?
That's,
I mean, that's
Yeah.
just, that's just,
Appro-
I would put
approximately.
approximately.
Should we say in the amount not to exceed?
no,
I don't think you want to do not to
Okay.
exceed.
approximately.
Estimate, just call it an
Yeah.
estimate. In the amount estimated of 14,650, something like that. Okay, with corrections of the agreement price. All in favor? All good? All in
Yeah.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Thank you. Couple other things. Clinton and I will be going to Mink Conference in St. Joe. We'll leave Wednesday morning and be, I don't know if she's,
We had that
We-
go
we've
through.
already got
this, I don't think I had that copy signed, so here's a signed copy
Oh, okay.
that got emailed.
Oh,
We've already
I signed
initially.
it.
yeah.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, so we'll be leaving Wednesday morning and going to St. Joe and coming back Thursday afternoonish. Pretty good conference between Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, and Kansas. There's a lot of input, a lot of ideas. Glenn and I were just going over the agenda this morning and some pretty good topics to discuss, so always a pretty good conference.
Very good.
I think that's all I've got.
Appreciate it.
All right, you guys have anything else?
Keep up good. Any changes at the 50 highway that you know of? I seen they put the drains in.
We did have a meeting, Kenny and I went to, last Thursday. They did have some foreclosures up there that we got some calls about. They did do the drains Thursday and maybe part of Friday. Everything should be open back up. And then they were gonna continue on, well, with this rain, I don't know, but they were gonna continue on excavating on the south side.
They didn't make it all the way to Key West for the drains. Frog Creek, West Slope had the drains put in it. And then, right east of Harlan Davies, they had the 2 drains in. And then they had saw marks at Key West
At the
Cemetery,
cemetery,
but
just
nothing.
east of there.
Yeah, nothing has been done. So I would assume there will be full closures when
Yep.
they go to replace those.
Yep.
But, people's gotta understand that when you have construction, that whole road could have been shut down this whole time, but we chose to keep it open and slow the traffic down. And there is gonna be days that there's gonna be portions of this road that's gonna be closed, and they're just gonna have to live with it.
Yep.
And quit
Yep.
whining on Facebook about
And
it.
it was, I mean, just harvest time. I mean, it's a tough time of year. We're dealing with the same stuff, you know, fog sealing and, you know, people trying to get corn out and,
But like I said, it could have been closed all the way from Lynx to Fauna.
Right.
I would like to know how many times I've been asked why we're doing all this stuff this time of the year. Don't you know it's harvest time? And so, well, if we didn't do anything between planting season and harvest time,
Yeah.
I don't know when we'd get anything done. But
Well, and it's supposed to have been done a year or 2 years ago. The state held that up,
yeah,
so.
But it was still been done in harvest.
It still would have been done at
or
harvest.
planting time, one of the two.
Yeah,
Well,
we're
planting
planting
time.
Yeah, but they'd still like to have the shoulders fixed and stuff though,
Yeah.
too, where that's better to drive on.
By the way, yeah, we need shoulders fixed.
You know,
And I know it's tough, but it's part of it.
You know, I've got broad shoulders. It's not the first or last ass.
I've never known there's a whole bunch of road building experts up in that area, so.
Well,
That's kind of a natural reaction
Yeah.
for people to see things from their own point of view. We're dealing with that with a lot of subjects right now.
yeah.
Like that bridge east of Leroy, it's gonna be totally closed.
Yeah.
Planting
I know,
season, harvest.
I know Kenny and Ryan are,
Kenny's supposed to harvest and it's gonna hit all of it.
they've been trying to figure out the detour, and we've already had a lot of people calling in concerned about people not gonna use the detour, they're gonna use the side roads, and sure, that's local people. I mean, they're gonna take the shortest route. But we'll get it figured out.
The shortest route, 2 cars can't hardly pass on it.
Not very good.
They're on
Yeah,
fifth
not much.
road.
Yeah,
But you're right, people are going to take the shortest route. I mean, not all of them, but some of them.
we can.
And that's just gonna be,
We can try, well, we can do our best to stop all the non-local people, and, but it's just part of it.
Well, thank you, Adam.
Yep, all right, well, you guys have a good week.
You too. Keep up the battle.
Yep, yep,
Thank you.
it's a new week.
It's a new week, new battles, new week. Health Department, Amelia. How are you this morning?
How are you?
Better than I deserve.
I have some updates. So we did have our Vaccine for Children compliant audit, so that's VFC audit on Friday. Unfortunately, there were some deficiencies, and I mean, I can talk on that, but it would have to be executive session because it is related to non-elected officials' job performance.
Can you ever get away from a deficiency or two on those type of audits?
Yep,
Can you get to that point?
yep, and I think we're on the right track.
I'm sure you are.
Anything you feel we need to discuss, or? I guess that's up to you.
I mean,
Under executive session.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Or if you wanna build something, if you wanna bring something up, what are we, next week? And say, unless you wanna bring something.
I mean, I can take 5 minutes to explain it in executive session. Include all of the county commissioners.
That's what you wanna do? Okay. We're ahead of schedule now. We're good.
Okay.
You can have 10 minutes if you need 10 minutes.
I think,
Think 5 with the questions will be fine?
oh yeah, I
Okay.
think it will be.
5-minute executive session, board and, Health Department Administrator Amelia, need Wade in there? County Counselor?
Sure.
To include county counselor, would include, And this would be under job performance of non-elected personnel? Okay. 5 minutes, executive session. Does that cover it?
Non-elected job performance.
Okay.
Also move.
One second. Moved by Neat, second by Curry. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes. We'll enter at 9:33 for 5 minutes.
Say Needs and Curry.
Yep. Yeah.
Or what, real fuzzy?
Hopefully, I mean.
But at least nothing else was named.
Yeah, good.
Okay, no action taken on the last executive session.
Okay, so the next item for update, for department update, is related to construction. So the main demolition will continue to begin on October 14th. There was a change in the project manager, so the project manager is now Cody Palmer. The previous one was, it would have been Galen Unruh. He's the one that no longer works for Votes.
Is he the part?
He was the project manager.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So Sturt is still,
Yes, as far as I know.
okay.
I think we got the last names mixed up on that.
Yes.
But yes, Cody Palmer is the new project manager. They have been able to take care of all the submittals. There is one update for the cabinets and case work. So the Wilson Arch Raw Chestnut has a pretty significant lead time, so they're recommending to go with a Formica Natural Maple, which has a lower lead time, and it will also credit us back $600, so it's $600 cheaper. I mean, I feel like that's pretty reasonable to go ahead and go with that, unless you guys have any different.
As long as it is just as good as the other.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's just a matte finish, but I think that's pretty much the only difference besides the color a little bit. So our first construction meeting with Cody and Stewart and the other crews will be October 29th. And that's all I have for the construction update. Next up, I have scheduled all of the drive-through flu clinics and our flu clinics. So we are trying to do a lot of our work outside of the health department just because we are down to one exam room currently. Our drive-through flu clinics are starting this week. The first one is in Euston on September 25th from 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Gridley is October 1st. Leroy is October 2nd. Waverly is October 7th. Levo is October 9th, and Burlington is October 16th, and each of those locations are at the fire stations for each town, and it's just drive-through. We recommend that patients fill out their consent forms prior to, just to keep the flow going. And then we will also be offering our flu clinics at the Coffee County Libraries from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. So the first one will be in Waverly, October 2nd, Gridley, October 7th, Leroy, October 8th, Levo, October 15th, Burlington, October 21st, and Euston, October 25th. And all of this information was also in the newspaper as well. And the libraries are walk-in, they are not drive-throughs. So yeah, and for those, kind of on the same topic, there was a question about the vehicles for the health department. We do utilize both of our vehicles, so the newer one hauls all the signs and cones and all of that for our clinics, and then the other one kind of hauls what staff can't fit in the vehicle. And we do use both of them on a routine basis. October is just a more busy month, but we are more than happy to allow the individual that was requesting to borrow it.
Oh, who was that? That was the
Chamber.
Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, we were gonna trade it in at the time,
Mhm.
and my recollection is myself, Jesse thought that weren't quite agreeing with the trade-in amount, so.
Yeah, because it was pretty low.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And, you know, and after researching it further, it wasn't terribly low for the level,
Mhm.
for the trim level and stuff of the vehicle. I don't wanna
Yeah.
imply there's anything wrong there, but,
Yeah.
so that was, the board's thought was that this vehicle was in limbo. We were actually planning to put it on an auction or something
Mhm.
and dispose of it, but
I mean,
it's
if it's,
something you feel like you can utilize.
yes, absolutely. And I can pull the dates that we use both vehicles, like how many a month that you
I
guys
don't
would
think
like.
that's necessary.
Okay.
We just thought that we had something that was sitting in the parking lot, you know.
But I'm okay with sharing.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be a share type,
It'd be gone.
it'd be gone, it would be to the,
She's gonna need it full-time.
it would be the.
She's
yeah.
a full-time employee of there, and that's something we offered to help with, if I'm correct, right, guys?
Right,
That
because we
supply
thought we had
vehicle.
y'all's vehicle that you was gonna trade in. My only other question, and I don't know if this is even relevant, is there a trailer, an enclosed trailer? Angie, you have an enclosed trailer? Is it full of election machines?
No. In fact, the sheriff's office and I share it. They just used it for OK Kids, and I'll be using it for the November election.
Right.
But it mostly sits empty, you know.
Yeah, but it's a good idea, but my experience with sharing things, at least around our place, is everybody needs it at the same time. So what ends up happening, I agree with you, Jesse, it'd be a possibility, but.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what
First thing
avenue to go down.
First thing, you could try to share it for a few months, see how you get it. And if it don't work, then we'll address it.
What do you mean, the trailer or the vehicle? Yeah, we can't share the vehicle.
Yeah.
The trailer, I mean, she's talking pretty much the month of October, pretty much needing the trailer, right?
Mhm.
How's the comfortability of people pulling a trailer with the,
I'm comfortable with pulling one, but I don't
Other people.
think my other staff
well,
members
that's what
are
I did,
comfortable.
that's what I didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
are you gonna be the one driving it all the time that would be the next question.
I mean, that would have to be a have to if it came down to trailer only, but
Well, we
I just,
think this over.
yeah.
Yeah.
There are times where I do have limited availability after 5.
Right. Well, your drive-throughs are until 7 o'clock, aren't they?
So we usually get back between 7 and 7:30.
Okay. I just figured out, that's what you ran.
5:30 to 6:30, is that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
5:30 to 6:30, so-
Then your travel time up home.
Yep, setup starts at 5 and then,
Okay.
Well, guess that's something we should ask about before we.
I guess we'll drop back 20 and fine.
One option for the chamber might be to reimburse mileage until, I mean, it's not a dedicated vehicle, but at least there's
Being compensated for.
something that doesn't address the wear and tear and but right now, I'm not sure what the other option is.
Other than buying another vehicle.
Yeah, and the current county fleet, I mean, I don't know where it is in the rotation of needing something new. I think there's some relatively new vehicles that were recently purchased, and the one you use has, over 100,000 miles on it.
Yeah,
So-
like 114 or something. Not much over 100 if I remember right.
Talking about the
The Edge,
Edge.
Edge, yeah.
some say that's barely broken.
Right, could have a lot of life left in it,
It could, or the transmission could go out in another 15,000 miles too.
Yeah, my $6,000 pickup transmission I'm putting in right now.
So,
Driving too hard.
well, I guess, we'll just have to drop back 20 and punt. Know that.
Good idea, just how that thing go?
Road department's looking at getting rid of a 2005 Chevrolet, so. See what the traded value on
What's the
that.
2020 on the auction?
I don't know.
I've never asked. Thought there's a 2020 in there on this list.
There was something on it.
Maybe there's something wrong with it, maybe it's wrecked or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whose vehicles they are.
Sheriff's office. 2020 Chevy Silverado, 17,000, well, that's the estimated.
Value.
That's 163,000. Couple Dodge Chargers,
Mm-hmm.
Dodge Ram, 2014 Dodge Ram, and 2008 Ford Expedition White.
Yeah,
20,000 miles.
Guess we still pull something off the list if we wanted to.
I'd probably have to know today.
Yeah.
If it's
I
not
sure want us
today.
to talk to Tom first and see what the issues are with said vehicles, where we thought about keeping one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I know the 163,000 mile vehicle that I bought is ran perfect. That pickup, and it was an old sheriff's vehicle. It just has a lot of miles on it, sure.
Right.
But
I think
one thing about it, they're taken care of.
I think they get to a certain mileage and out of an abundance of caution, they trade them in, and that's normal with law enforcement. They may run for the next however many 100,000 miles.
Right.
They just do that because if they're responding to a call and they're.
Try to keep their dependability.
Because these are serviced on a regular, they're serviced.
You know it's got great brakes on it, you know
No,
it's
that's right.
got engine work, because, I mean, you know the upkeep maintenance is done to it, because you don't want an officer out there driving around in a junk vehicle. You know, with the U-joint about ready to go out of it, or brakes failing, you know, so. I mean, I'm totally comfortable. I love that. I'd buy another one.
And they have the law enforcement package on,
Yes.
usually, which is the enhanced radiator.
Yeah.
Fans, high performance fans.
Yeah, as far as the mileage, that doesn't scare me. I mean, I've bought pickups before to 140 to 50,000 miles and driven them luckily to 270, 280.
Yeah. Well, we will drop back 20 and punt and see what other options we
Okay.
have.
Alrighty, well, that's
Just
all I
keep using
had.
the vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we
I'm gonna
get,
put a rock on the tire. If it doesn't move in 2 weeks, we're gonna get rid of it.
well, it's probably gonna move today, so. Well, thank you guys.
Be out there
That's
with
all
tire
I had.
chalk.
Yeah, thank you. I'm marking that thing.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Oh, boy, yeah.
I wonder if the sheriff, is the sheriff here today?
I saw the undersheriff, I'm not
Right.
sure.
Checking to see if it's available.
I'll see if he's available and has time to visit, or we're done with our agenda, other than executive session.
Yeah.
Tom probably has to take time to look up information on the vehicles.
He surely knows if one's got a problem.
Yeah, he know a problem, do you?
Maybe that's not the place to go shopping for one, I don't know, 'cause that's.
I'm planning on it.
Yeah.
Well, me, no.
Oh, yeah. Me either, I just meant
I know that.
whether it's suited for.
Free is great.
Yeah, so anybody remember what our agreement was there when we were talking about supplying a vehicle, but was that gonna be transferred over to them then, and the expense of it, or were we gonna,
I think that's the direction that we were headed.
I
Because
mean,
we
we're
were
not keeping the vehicle as a county vehicle, because she's not a
not
county
a county.
employee.
I don't think we wanna open that can of worms.
Right, so our goal was to donate a vehicle, basically.
Sell some for $1, whatever,
Yeah.
and that would be the one time.
That's my recollection.
Expenses would be out of their budget.
Okay.
Which we're already paying for to begin with, for the
Right,
first
but
year anyway.
it's still
Yeah,
getting it out of our,
Because if I remember right,
Liability.
when the discussion first came up, it was possibly a county.
position.
And then as it progressed, then it was decided, I think, that it was not part of the county.
I don't think we need more county.
Yeah, not if we can
Yeah.
avoid it.
Any more county.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that'll get turned around. Knight says, no more county. I can see it now.
Surely wouldn't be out of context or anything.
Oh, no. Did he ever answer you? Probably not.
Nope.
He's
Try to
probably,
call him.
he's probably enjoying the nice cooler day. You been into, ring bells lately?
Not lately, but I'll be, requesting an executive session to discuss probably a 10-minute executive session to discuss a legal issue that needs to be resolved. Mary Bell's.
Okay.
This isn't part of the executive session contract.
No.
Winter time's coming, once again.
It is.
He's gonna see if Eric can come
Okay,
You what?
you'll see if Eric come up, can come
in. He's
up.
not here right now. Okay.
I asked.
Okay.
Eric will be right here.
All right, I'm just gonna call him.
We want to do our 10-minute break while we're waiting on Eric?
Yeah.
Take a 10-minute break, but we'll be back at 10:07. He's gonna look at it, it takes two people to do his role right now.
Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed.
There was a question about a vehicle that we were going to donate / sell to the, Chamber of Commerce, and we're finding that it's being utilized quite a bit with the health department, and so you guys had some stuff on the auction that we probably maybe ought to look at, or
Okay.
Or
ask,
should we not?
or should we not consider? There's like a 2020 pickup, is it crashed?
Chevy Silverado?
Yeah.
Is it crashed? I don't know, we haven't crashed.
It's operational. It does use a lot of oil.
A lot of those did though too, but I mean, that's,
Yeah.
And it's got 163,000 on it.
Yeah.
If it's around the county, you'd probably be fine.
That's probably past that, you're gonna get better choices, you think?
what about those Chargers?
Most likely not,
Really?
yeah. The other option would be that Expedition. It's got some rust, but mechanically it's sound.
Aaron, how many miles is it, or Eric, how many miles does it have on it?
120,000 on the Ford Expedition.
So
We'd been using it for a drone vehicle, but, it's not one that we'd want to respond in anymore.
As far as service in the chamber, and there's a lady that's gonna be in charge of it, be driving it most of the time, it'd be satisfactory for
I don't see why not.
the chamber.
Yeah, so 2008. I mean, it's got some years, but.
So it doesn't have a lot of miles for 2008,
Right.
So for what it's been used for, it doesn't have a tremendous amount of idle hours on it then, or anything, right?
No,
It would be
not
a
a
better-
tremendous amount, not compared to our other
It'd
vehicles.
be a better choice compared to
So
the
it's an
others.
expedition?
Yes.
That was actually emergency management's vehicle
Oh.
for all those years, and then
Okay.
we acquired it.
Okay.
It's still only 6 years old. What year did you say?
2008.
8, oh, I'm sorry, 6 years.
So,
But it's not a lot of miles for that.
are we looking, so we've got the cars, so what are we looking at for, the chamber or?
for the chamber.
Or just switching?
I would go to,
No, I'm
I would keep the edge for the health department or in our fleet. I'd keep it in there, cause it's still 140 to 114,000
Something like
miles.
that, yeah.
And
Okay,
it's more efficient
you're right,
Yeah.
than the Expedition.
you're right.
And, I mean, the Expedition would probably bring decent money on the auction, maybe, probably.
Yeah,
Depends on
probably
the
not
rust.
with that age on it, it's
Might
not
not
gonna be a
with
high
that
dollar item.
So,
It's got a
I believe
good
that
interior on it, you know, but.
Expedition is only valued at like $4,000.
Okay. Okay.
And it's got 123, you say?
120,000.
120.
120, 280 is what we got
And a
here.
little bit of rust isn't going to,
Kansas.
We
oh,
can,
yeah.
we can remove that from the auction, you think, Angie, at this point?
I'll have to know today if everyone agrees, and if they can get it off the sale bill.
Well, it's either there or it ain't. If it's not there, it's not the end of the world if it's on the sale bill, in my mind. But,
Need to know.
And if, you know, the main thing we look at here is whether or not we're gonna be able to use that toward our next purchase, and I'm not bringing that up as some kind of no, that's not what it's about, you know, $4,000 shouldn't make or break us, but it's something we have to be aware of, but.
oh, that comes back into your department then.
Well, I mean, yeah, we'd use it for, you know, whatever we were doing with our next vehicle. We did have a crash vehicle we're trying to replace right now, and having a little bit to do with the insurance company about that, but,
She'll have got that worked out with the insurance.
So is,
I mean, you could reimburse the sheriff's office for that vehicle, you know, with whatever
Yeah,
the rest
that
of
could be
the value.
or at least be compassionate with us when we're looking at trying to replace one, funding wise.
yeah, I don't wanna create another issue by us trying to fix a decision that we thought we had something available, so we committed this other vehicle and.
I don't think that vehicle's gonna make or break us. That would be my thought on that.
Okay.
Aaron? I got no issues with it.
Yeah.
Is there any pictures of it?
I don't think we took any.
I can get some pictures for you if that's what you'd like.
Could you, please?
I don't remember
Interior,
it being a
exterior.
bad-looking vehicle, was it?
It's not a bad looking vehicle. No. You know, it's a little loose compared to our other vehicles because of the year, on it.
Yeah.
Outside of that, cosmetically, it's in good shape. The interior's in good
There's
shape.
rust on the rockers. When you open the door, you can see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some rust holes, but.
But not terrible appearance to the
The
outside.
appearance is
No.
okay. Mechanically, I think it's a pretty sound vehicle, especially for running around the county.
When you say somewhere around 4,000 is what it was appraised, or roughly the value?
Possible value.
Yeah, we
Possible value.
were given an estimate of around $4,000 for that.
And it's four-wheel drive, right?
I believe it is.
Probably. I think
Because
it is.
emergency preparedness, I'm sure it's.
Yeah. We never use it, so the
Right.
four-wheel drive.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like a good place to start. And if something should show up in a year, we can always take care of it.
Should be some pictures of it, if you don't mind.
I'll do that.
Yes, I don't know, they might not, it might be too big of a vehicle for them, I don't know. That would be my, but a free vehicle is better than Nike's.
No, it's not.
Out of the vehicles that we have available, that's the best vehicle.
Okay.
may allow them to carry things around for
Right,
chamber.
for
Well,
different events and stuff.
That's what I was,
I don't think that'd be all bad.
might be right up their alley.
We had it full of equipment, you know, for the drone, including TV screens and battery charged weight. So there's plenty of room in it.
And it can tow too, can it?
Yeah.
So,
Tow?
yeah. So,
I guess I'd be in favor of going ahead and doing something.
I would too.
Do you wanna see if Matt Harmon's around, get him over, talk to him, cause he's the one who's been communicating with me on behalf of the chamber. I don't know if he's the head of their board or not, but he's local.
We've got a pretty light day, and we need to know today, I'm guessing, before we
Yeah.
do something, so we can do something. So I would say, if you can get ahold of Matt, see if he's available, or somebody get ahold of Matt and see if he's available
Yeah.
to,
Meet with us after
Meet
we
with us.
take care of some of this other stuff. We
Yeah.
got a couple of
throw him on at 11 o'clock if he can.
executive sessions here.
Yeah, so. Throw me some pictures if you don't mind. Can you get those?
You just want me to send?
Yeah, just send
text
them
you?
just send them my cell phone.
Okay, I can do that, I can get you that here in the next 20 minutes.
Thanks.
That'd be great.
Thanks,
guys.
gentlemen. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
I'll give him a call.
Okay. We're at 10 o'clock, past 10 o'clock. I guess this is Wade's executive session.
With Wade.
That Wade's. Oh, that's his? Okay.
Guess I'd request an executive session for 20 minutes, you think? To include the commission, for discussion of contract issues, to include the commission, county attorney, and the county clerk.
And maybe more specifically, it's under the attorney-client exception. It's to discuss potential legal issues surrounding a current county contract or agreement.
I will move. I'll second. Moved by Knight, seconded by McCurry for a 20-minute executive session. The board, county attorney, and county clerk, Angie.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. We'll enter at 10:19 for 20 minutes. Mark, behave yourself up here all by yourself.
We'll try.
Well, it sounds like a right now. On my way.
How you doing?
Good, how are you, Wade?
I'm doing good.
And then
Good.
I made the call to see if she could attend as well, seeing as I had assumed it would be related to chamber business. So, for any of you guys who have not met Ms. Zirkle, this would be our chamber director.
Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you. Welcome to the county side.
Well, thank you.
Save that drive from Topeka, or to Burlington, Topeka all the time.
Yep, that's what I was doing.
75 highway is horrible.
It was, and I was like, something's gotta change.
You think 75 horrible? Drive in Topeka right now.
Oh, that's terrible, isn't it?
There's no city around that's as bad as it is.
It used to take, if I left my office here to get to my office there, it was almost exactly an hour. I drove it all, last time I did it was an hour and 40 minutes because of road construction.
Okay, in regards to our last executive session, Wade's got something to add.
So just to cap that last executive session off, last week, or was it last week or the week before?
It was last week.
There were bids that were open regarding the county auction. There were two bids. One was Kurt's Auction and Realty Service. The other was SNS Sales LLC. The summary and what is to be announced, there's no action being taken, but it's a clarification. The Kurt's Auction and Realty Service, they were awarded the auction for the county. SNS Sales LLC was not. There was a discussion regarding the commission for both entities, one at 6%, one at 14%. 6% was Kurt's Auction, 14% was SNS Sales. The update is the commission of 14% for SNS covered everything related to what they were going to do. So that was advertising, whereas the 6% for Kurt's, the county is responsible for repayment of some of the additional costs and fees. When you compare both, the 6% will be closer to the 14% that SNS Sales LLC had put in their bid. Nothing is changing. Kurt's Auction is remaining the entity who's going to represent the county in the auction. But I think for optics purposes and for SNS Sales, I think knowing that the spread between 6% and 14% was significant. It's a lot closer when you compare the two and who's paying for what. So is that a good summary? If you want to add anything else?
No, I believe so. No, and the indication I got from Brett is he's satisfied. He just the clarification that the two bids were very close. So that's it.
The commission numbers made it look like it was a lot more off, but when you take into account with what one covered and what one didn't cover, they're very close at the end of the day.
Yeah, I was hesitant to award the contracts that day because I wanted them to be reviewed, and I think if we would have had them reviewed to make sure that you was comparing apples to apples, I think it would have, the tides would have turned in favor for Brett. But I would think that would be a good practice that we do not award the day of opening on anything, and have our attorney review the advertising, what we're asking for, and review the bid documents to ensure we're comparing apples to apples going forward, so we could maybe prevent something like this. And this could, you know, this is a fairly small thing, but it could.
We want to be fair.
And for maybe further optics, when it's a sealed bid, nobody has this prior to the meeting, and when it's announced, it's something that real time, when you open it, that's the first time anybody's seen it. I think, contrary to popular opinion, you guys have these over the weekend or even prior to it. The reason why that's the way it happens is so somebody does not gain an unfair advantage, or it looks like there's collusion behind the scenes. That somebody knows Steve, and Steve says, hey, somebody bid 15%. If you come in under 15%, then you're going to be the lower bid. And that happens with anything as it relates to the county. That's why you have sealed bids and you open them here for the first time.
Yeah, they were brought in here. Casey brought them in, and Jesse opened them right there with his letter opener right there.
Had to borrow a letter opener.
Yeah, on the internet.
So no action being taken, more of a clarification and update so that the record's set a little more clearly.
Yeah, Brett stated he's okay with that, so.
Okay.
On to the next. Back at the vehicle. Aaron, did you get something?
Yeah, I went ahead and just printed out some photos. I figured just for ease, it's very more difficult for you to pass your phone around.
And for Matt and the chamber, they have no idea why
they're here.
They can't come over.
County attorney asked me to come to a meeting, I guess.
The Betty is in trouble, isn't
Yeah.
The first thing you thought was, holy smoke, what have I done?
The vehicle,
Is this a personal matter, or?
the vehicle that we were so generous thinking that we had available, I guess, is still being used by the health department, so that's kind of where we came into a kink. Looks pretty good, it's a rusted and rocker there. Outward appearance and interiors.
So we're kind of at a standstill, I guess, and Sheriff's Office has a 2008 Expedition, Ford Expedition, a little bigger, but it's got like 120,000 miles on it. It was an emergency preparedness vehicle prior to, so it won't have the hours as a sheriff's vehicle will have.
Nor any of the built-in.
Right, consoles and everything. They were great for cup holders, but it does have some rust on the driver's door kicker panel right there when you go to step in right in the corner. But other than that, they say that's probably.
It has new tires on it as well, it's mechanical.
Looks like the tires are a good deal.
So, I don't.
The interior
The
looks
vehicle that we was looking at is not available, so we're looking at pulling this out of the auction
the interior.
to get to
Really
you
clean
all
inside.
as a vehicle too.
That's just,
That's purchased for $1 and there you are type.
Yeah.
that's the back one.
I'm not the one driving it, but from a chamber standpoint, we're gonna appreciate anything. There may be some budgetary factors that we'd have to recalculate from a fuel cost, but even the numbers that were in our budget were generally speaking. So I don't think a swap vehicle one for another. I haven't seen the pictures. I'd let Callie take a look at it.
Check out your new vehicle.
But from my standpoint with the chamber, obviously anything that the commissioners are willing to do would be greatly appreciated. I'm sure Callie could speak on not driving her personal vehicle into the dirt.
That's why. Your head's moving the right direction.
Yep. Good to me.
Well, and the other thing is, you can haul stuff around too in the back as well as.
I was even thinking just tables and chairs, that's the main thing we had to haul around, I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever the commission, the county's able to do, willing to do, I think from a chamber standpoint, we'd be elated, so.
I think it'll be a good vehicle for a long time, as long as you don't have to look down and see the road going past you by your left foot. I don't know.
It looks like we're a couple years away.
We're a couple years away from that.
We're not Fred Flintstoning it to get started or anything.
On the other hand, Jeff, that can always be fixed with a little bit of sheet metal too.
It could, minimal sheet.
Little.
Well, and they've got those things where you could have those cut out and welded back in. You're probably looking at $2,000 to have that done.
Yeah.
But you're comfortable with that?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll just check the seatbelt, she doesn't need to fall through the bottom.
Right.
I've seen this girl load semi-tires. She can do that. I'm telling.
Do we need to take action on pulling that out of the auction?
Well, I'm sure we'll have to make a motion to withdraw it from the auction list.
Yep, I would say at a minimum, and then once we get the information, then we'll have to figure out what you want to do and how you want to do it as it relates to a disposal notice. But,
We've already done a disposal notice for it to
well,
go to the auction. I would say it's in limbo, is it not? We've already deemed it
Yeah, but the money's gonna go away if we change that, right?
so that disposal notice was already published then relating to what's in the auction. Is that?
I don't think we published it
has.
yet,
Okay.
but we can stop it immediately.
It wasn't in last week's paper.
It may be,
Scheduled for this week.
yeah, it may not be scheduled just yet,
So you never.
Because October 19th is still 4 weeks away.
yeah.
But I remember signing.
I
the
did have you
disposal.
sign it, and then I sent it to the paper, but I don't think we sent it.
I don't remember seeing the list in there, but maybe it was.
It wasn't in the paper.
It may be coming up then.
We might have told it to go like the 1st of October or something.
Was it 2 weeks or 3?
Well, it has to be published 2 times in the county paper, 2 times, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 2 times, yeah.
be October 1st, whatever, October 1st paper.
Do they have a number assigned to each item in that list? I can't remember. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
No other questions for me on that?
Not.
No, appreciate it very much, thank you.
Perfect,
Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.
I don't know how to send it yet. I don't see that I sent it to you yet. Yeah, I haven't sent it to him yet.
That's what I have in procedure.
Blame it on the email.
Didn't think I'd see it. So what I would suggest is a motion to retract and revise the 2024 auction list and remove exactly what it says, the 2008 Ford Expedition white VIN number, 120, 280 miles, approximate value, basically everything that's on this list. Amount valued at $4,893 from the Coffee County Sheriff's Office.
Lettuce, tomatoes, onions, stuff like that.
And then can work on the next thing for next week regarding the vehicle related to the chamber, but then you could take the VIN number and then get an estimate for insurance, which is what you have been trying to get from me.
We had some other insurance, we're trying to cover the equipment that she's purchasing and some other insurance. And obviously, the more you can package all together, we wanted to send it out to bid, so.
Yeah.
That was gonna be my request, is if we have a VIN, if we could go ahead and snag that, that would be appreciated. We can get a copy to Holly and anybody else as well.
You wanna take a picture of this?
I can do that.
Actually, you can just, I might have an extra. Never mind, you'll have to take a picture, because I don't have another one, I'm sorry, I said I did, unless I can print it out for you.
Oh, you're fine.
That'll work.
Does that motion look okay with?
See yours, because mine's blocked up.
Says to retract and revise the 2024 auction list dated September 17, 2024, and remove the 2008 Ford Expedition white VIN ending in 9767 for the Coffee County Sheriff's Office.
I think that should cover it.
I'll move.
I'll second. Been moved by Thompson, seconded by McCurry to remove the 2008 Ford Expedition from the county auction. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. We'll take work on that next week and should be able to have something finalized next Monday.
Okay.
And you've got what you need for,
Yeah, I have everything I need. We had already agreed we're gonna, do our diligent work on making sure we send it out for similar to the bid. Let anybody take a crack at it that wants to take a crack at it, so.
Sure.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Nice
for
meeting
coming
you.
in.
Thank you, nice meeting you
Good
all.
luck.
Thanks for coming in on short notice.
Have a good one, guys.
You too.
We'll be in touch.
Yep. Thanks, Whitney.
So do we need to read?
Yeah, I'm gonna get you
Oh,
one
okay.
here in just a second.
Well, I seen you adding stuff to it, so.
Yeah. Go print it off.
And then, will you get a hold of Darwin then? How does that work for him?
I'll give him a call back
And
and
then
then,
he can still pull that off?
I hope so, yeah.
Well, if not, it just don't show up.
Well, right, I mean, the explanation could be given on that.
Yeah, but at least if somebody called about it, you can tell them that it
Right,
wasn't there.
right.
Oh, she's gotta revise the list, that's what she said.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You guys can review this again. Do you want a copy where you can?
I'll see it. So re-sign it one.
No, any left. Just want to compare it to the last.
No, it's okay. Everybody happy? Okay.
I gotta change the date, that's this. Okay, I gotta change the date.
You just gotta change it on your end, don't you, before we
Yeah,
sign it?
you
I
can
go ahead and read the
still,
motion.
I'll change the date to the 23rd and then I'll save and I'll sign again.
Should this say something about an updated county list? We've already passed one.
Well, in the previous motion, you retracted and revised the 2024 auction list, removing.
Oh, okay, yeah, I do read that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Motion to find that various items of property contained on the list dated September 23rd are no longer required and cannot prudently be used for public purpose in Coffee County, and such the same will be disposed of by public auction. Said auction will occur on October 19th, 2024 at 9 a.m. at the Coffee County Shop at 1510 South 6th Street, Burlington, Kansas. The county clerk is authorized to publish the notice of intent of disposal of the property in the official county newspaper. I'll move.
Second.
Moved by Knight, seconded by Meats. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
I'll take that other one from you, fine.
Just you two sign that,
Yeah.
don't you?
Mhm. Just like regular disposal notice.
Okay. That is the end of our agenda. I'm sure there will be roundtable discussion.
Wade had another executive session.
Yeah.
10 minutes is what it
Yeah.
Steve, do you have any roundtable for today?
No, sir.
Dawn?
At the bottom of our agenda, discussion topics. Roger Gilbert and I visited yesterday about the cemetery out here east of Arlington, that they'd like to have their stones straightened up a little bit. And the letter that he submitted to Angie here 2 or 3 weeks ago, estimated cost is in the 10,000, and that is strictly an estimation. The estimation we had from 3 weeks before that, or 4 weeks, from the man that was gonna do the work down in the Humboldt-Schnute area was 30,000. And so right now, my suggestion to him and and agreed to it, is just to sit tight until we locate some additional information with firm information, because everything we've had so far has absolutely been totally an estimation. And with a time frame that was gonna take several months to complete, which I visited with Rogers, and my thought was, and this is what I suggested, that if we do a project like this, we probably wouldn't want it strung out over 2 or 3 months. I can't see us wanting to let that go out a year or 2 years, like the first proposal was. So everything's on hold on that right now.
Well, and unfortunately, you've got cemeteries all over the county in which
And we talked about that
I
quite.
totally want the cemeteries to be nice for a long time, but
Yeah.
a lot of these, that's not a relocated cemetery, is it?
No. It's been there probably 150 years, and maybe further back from that. 150 would be an overstatement, because the southeast corner's been there a long time.
But in his letter to us, he says they cannot give an exact figure, but would start with 10,000 based on the condition of the stones, and then go from there. So,
That's.
I guess my thought would be that if we did that, then they would do the ones that need it the worst up to that point. They'd be limited to that budget rather than everybody else think.
Their thoughts is they'd want to go further.
Pardon me?
Their thoughts is they'd like to go further, further than what the 10 would go.
I'm sure of that, but
I'm just not sure where we would stop it, because there's so
Yeah.
many cemeteries in the county. Where do you?
I'm all for supporting them, and, I think it's important, out of respect, that they're maintained to a level that we can afford, but, I guess myself, I would be in favor of doing that amount, and then they could see how far that go, and try to repair the ones in the most dire need. That's just a thought.
Yeah.
That's what his letter says.
But time frame is unlimited,
I see.
and I can't see that, I see that as an issue, spreading it out. Because the original letter was 2 years.
And they don't even want to commit to that, the company. He has a company in mind that doesn't want to commit to.
Short time, because of their other business affairs, they can't do it any quicker.
So they will do a 2-year limit. Or they don't want to be limited to 2 years.
I'm not gonna answer that, I'm not gonna answer that.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
We talked about just opening up other cemeteries that could come in, not probably, because that's a what if, might possibly come in and would want the same thing. I did tell him that in the 8 years I've been here, I think the only major cemetery that we took care of was Logue Cemetery east of Leroy, which had probably 125-year fence going all the way around it, and that included the front side. And we agreed to, the county commission agreed to a white fence, the white vinyl fence. I think it was 6,200. I think it was a hair over 6, and that was the highest amount we paid on any cemetery to upgrade, and it really did upgrade.
But that didn't have anything to do with the stones.
Nothing with the stones, but the stones on that cemetery. That cemetery has got, the only long distance stones in that cemetery is the far south side, and I don't know, 50 or 60 stones maybe is in the south side, and how many of them would need to be repaired? Probably several, but, you know, we didn't discuss that. We only did the fence there. And the two gentlemen that done that job, they buried the post 6 inches deeper than what was suggested, and the posts are still coming up uneven, and the fence isn't perfectly level like a string, like it was 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know how many cemeteries are out there that need attention to the actual stones. I mean, I would be in favor of trying to level them up and doing something that way. I know there was one out here out east of Hall Summit that, heck, it was the actual casket was exposed. The actual bones were exposed. It was an old wooden casket, and the family themselves did the work to level the stone and take care of the deceased, you know, which had been decades and decades back. So
Yeah.
I just don't know where a person would stop.
And that's,
I don't know where to start. I mean, I would be in favor of trying to help the headstone and cover up anything that needs to be covered up, not replacing any headstones.
Right.
Or doing any work to headstones, just be leveling them up. But, I mean, that would look under community improvement, wouldn't it, Angie? If a person did anything like that?
Probably be as good a category as you could find. I did suggest to him that I'd make a call to him for you. You know, I know both, because I talked to Farber and I talked to Jones too. And they're the ones told me the same people coming out of the south. Fort Scott, I think Fort Scott and Humboldt.
Well, Sean Miller owns all the monument shops in Lebo and Osage and Emporia and
We might talk to him and see what they
might have a crew. I don't know if they've got I know they got a crew that goes out and sets headstones, but I don't know if they've got a crew that goes out and fixes that.
My suggestion, I have no problem with maybe doing a little. My suggestion is it needs to be a firm bid, and it needs to be done in
I could call.
a 2-month period. It needs to be done in a short period of time rather than even 6 months. I don't particularly care.
Yeah, right.
I'd call Sean and see if he'd get with that guy or whatever, and try to get something.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Try to get something done to help the situation.
I think I've got Roger's cell phone. That's about the only way to get a hold of Roger, because Roger works from the lake outfitters.
Okay.
We had a nice visit about it.
We just kinda shooting some round table out there, waiting on you.
So I am gonna request a 20-minute executive session, myself and the board, and by phone, Attorney David Aaron, E-R-O-N, he is with Prell, Aaron, and Bailey, G-R-E-L-L-E. He is the attorney who is assisting the county with the mortgage foreclosure action dealing with the Marivelis building. And this will be for a legal update, legal advice regarding the current litigation involving the county.
And he's actually on the line with me right now, sort of, I've got him on mute, but.
For legal update.
Legal advice and legal update regarding pending litigation involving the county.
Do I need to reread all that, or can we just move in second?
See where it is.
I'll just reread it. Motion to enter executive session for 20 minutes to include each of the commissioners, Coffee County Counselor, and Attorney David Aaron Perrell, and Aaron and Bailey by phone to discuss matters deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship regarding legal update and legal advice regarding pending litigation involving the county under Kansas Open Meeting Act, blah, blah, blah. I'll move.
I'll second.
Been moved to second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. We'll enter at 11:15 for 20 minutes. Switch on.
Yes, sir.
I guess Angie can write this up when she gets back. You're up. We gotta go back for another 10 minutes, or 10 minutes.
Same thing, same people?
Yep. You know lawyers, they're windy.
I'm sure it's on our time.
All right, motion to go back into executive session, same people, same motion as last, for 10 more minutes.
I'll second that.
Moved by McCurry, seconded by Thompson. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. We'll enter at 11:42 for 10 minutes.
I knew you were kidding, to speak like that.
Okay, we're back. Way to give an update of the last executive session.
The last two
Last
executive
two.
sessions. So, as everybody is aware, maybe to provide just a quick update, the county filed, went through a long and winding process involving Lyon County State Bank, the city of Burlington, and then the county's interest in the property that's formerly known as Maribel's, the restaurant down the road. The Lyon County State Bank portion of it was a loan that dealt with the equipment. The city of Burlington was a exterior improvement loan, and then the county dealt with the property through an economic development loan. Presently, as of last week, on the 19th, there was a judgment of foreclosure that was entered in the district court here in Coffee County that basically granted the county the judgment related to that foreclosure for all three of those liens, or all three of those loans. At this point in time, now there is a period of time prior to the next step is a sheriff's sale, and then after the sheriff's sale, there is a right of redemption period that will occur, and only one party is still, I guess, in play along with the county, and that's the IRS. So, to make a long story short, the county now has the ability to move forward on a temporary basis because the county has the option to exercise what's described as self-help to maintain the property, and the county has the ability, while this process is pending, to try to get somebody in the building so it just does not sit idle. That's a long and roundabout way to get where we need to go. So that is the hope, and although things won't be final for months down the road, it has been a long and winding road to get where we are. It's been a complicated process legally, not only dealing with the local legal process regarding 3 different liens, or 3 different loans, and what legally had to occur to clear those loans, but also there was a federal bankruptcy proceeding that also sort of intervened. So trying to keep everybody up to date and as transparent as possible. The attorney who appeared by phone, David Aaron, he's been involved from the beginning. He's a subject matter expert on the legal side that deals with business transactions of a commercial nature and in bankruptcy court, and that's why he's involved. And without going way into the weeds about what that means and why, he needed to be involved because of how tricky and complicated the steps that needed to be taken here were. So he'll continue to be involved. The next step will be the sheriff's sale. There'll be notice that will be provided. That'll be its own process, and then from there, the redemption period after that. Is that a fair summary?
We can see the checkered flag at the end.
Yeah, it's kind of faint yet, but.
Or a white flag, whichever. It's far enough away, it kind of looks like.
Yeah.
We're starting to see the light.
Yeah,
A little bit.
exactly.
Okay.
So that's what I have, and the best I can describe it with the information that we have right now.
Okay. Prior to that, we was at roundtable and we made it to Mr. Meats and he discussed. Dawn, did you have anything else?
No.
Okay, we'll go to Wade Thompson
Okay.
next.
So I asked Heidi to join us, a couple different things. When we talked last week about the comprehensive plan, we were kind of talking about 2 different things at the same time. We were talking about the group of people that we wanted to interview, possible companies that would write this comp plan, and we were talking about people who would review it if we wanted to make any changes or whatever. So I guess in my mind, I suggested that maybe Ryan would want to be a part of it, and I think Jesse mentioned that the sheriff might want to be a part of it. And visiting with Ryan and me just thinking about this, I don't suppose those 2 really need to be necessarily involved in the interview process. They would have more input after it's written, and I wanted to get your thoughts on that. I mean, Ryan said he was willing to do it, but I visited with him afterwards, but I don't know if that's, he says he's not sure what he's going to have to
Put in.
contribute for that, you know.
So, in the past, those interested parties they're definitely involved when we get one on board. It's just whoever you want to put on the interview committee, that would be your subject experts, per se. I mean, obviously, you guys won't necessarily be one, but you'll be making the final decision on who we hire. So that's why 2 of you need to be on there. And then Wade to help us with the legal ramifications. And then Russ and I and Carl, because we'd be dealing with the zoning and the sanitation stuff that could be involved. So, but then after we get formed, then we'd say, Sheriff, here's this section. Do you have anything you'd like to add to this section for safety? And then Road and Bridge, they'd probably reach out to them and figure out the roads, the bridges we have.
Right.
Transportation would be also probably a piece from them as well. So.
Okay. So, I mean, I just thought I'd bring that up. I don't, you know, that was thrown down. We didn't make any action as far as I know, but just, does everybody think we need those? And, you know, and then Wade mentioned, you know, economic development, but I think he was talking later on after we're going over it. with fine tooth comb, you might say.
And I agree, and I think Heidi agrees that those two probably need to come in later.
Yeah, or even with Rhonda
Or
have
Rhonda.
a place
Right,
too.
right,
I
right.
mean, what's your thoughts, Wade?
So the only thing that I can think back, when the interviews were conducted, when the consultant was finally chosen, Russ, Huey, there was a candidate who interviewed, and they got pretty deep in the weeds on the transportation side of things and roads, because that was their subject matter expertise. Now, I think it was Huguenin at that point who jumped in and said, you're talking about roads, and that's not what we're wanting right now. So if you have a candidate who comes in and they go into that level of discussion during the interview process, do you want somebody on that committee that can say, well, when you're talking about roads, Brian knows more about the roads, or do you want to, would that occur again? I don't know, and that's something that.
Right.
So if that discussion does occur and you don't have people who are on that committee who can field those questions and ask the right questions,
then I'm fine with that. It just, in my mind, I think I kind of segued to the fine tuning of it, you know. So, I mean, if you think they might have value on there, then I have no feelings either way. I just felt like that was kind of, I think, my mindset when I suggested him.
I think if you have Russ on that committee, and then you can take those other people out, because he sort of will cover all those different angles, because that's why he's a consultant, why he'd be a part of that process. So you remove those extra layers and you add him, then I think you're fine. What do you think, Heidi?
Yeah, because Russ will be able to answer the general, because hopefully we wouldn't be going into the weeds.
Right.
Too much. And if we did, Russ would be able to kind of segue it back to, because he's seen comp plans, he's put together some comp plans before as well for some communities, but mostly he focuses on the planning piece, so that's where we're at with that. So
if there's a business or an applicant that has got strong ties to the road or strong ties to this, to me, they wouldn't even be an accepted applicant to come in to get interviewed. If you could eliminate them up front.
Yeah.
If you could, and you should be able to discover in the applicant what their specialties are.
Well, in that RFP, it should highlight what they specifically
What
do.
their specifics are.
We're asking them,
And
to
they
give
rule
us,
themselves out if their specialties ain't what we're looking for.
right, and they would show us examples of what they've done,
Right.
so we'd be able to see, they're more transportation heavy or more in housing heavy or whatever, and so we'd be able to see that. The RFP did go out last week. It's on the EPA website, and then Russ has sent it out to a couple of individuals that he works with comp plans, and he suggested that a November 1st deadline be placed on it, because a November 1st deadline to have the submittals back to my office by, to give them a month and a half, because it takes a little bit for them to gather their stuff. And then in the RFP, we asked them to have the plan done in 2 years from November 1st, 2026. We asked the company to also have it done by then. And then we work with them on the schedule, and they come here and when they talk to us and all that good stuff later. So that was also to be determined.
When we initialed the piece of paper I shouldn't say piece of paper, but the document that came across, where this is being advertised almost nationally. I forget what that document was that came across here last week.
I don't recall that
I don't
one.
recall exactly what that document was, but
The only thing you gave me permission was to have Russ reach out to the American Planning Association, which yes, it would go out nationally on that website.
okay. I think there was something
No.
where it would go, and there was already, he said, 50 other comprehensive plans wanting to be already on the website, asking for submittal dates, and ours is after all those, so hopefully they get all those figured out first, and then can fine tune theirs to our request,
Okay.
so.
Let's also keep in mind, now you said American Planning, what was that?
American Planning Association, it's the APA.
American Planning Association's the one that did the one for Lyon County, I believe, and there was a big uproar about stuff they put into it that was very, very, very bad for the farming world and the cattle ranching world.
So we would get a definite say on how we'd like to proceed with that, so we wouldn't have to agree with what they put in or not, so.
So that was my actual reasoning. Aside, I wanted to bring up this about the people on the interview team, but when you said that, you said Russ could possibly reach out to the American Planning Association. That rung a bell with me after attending the KNRC meetings last year. In my mind, anybody that's associated with American Planning Association, we don't want any part of. I mean, some of the things, they're like a union. I took some notes from a person that educated me somewhat. They're somewhat like a union, but they get federal funds and from colleges. They're partners with environmental activists and the EPA. They want to eliminate fossil fuels, and everybody use bike trails and bicycles are some of their objectives. Things they've tried to implement were to end racism by forced black projects in affluent neighborhoods and cities, which, where they've done that, that's turned into a total train wreck. Form-based zoning, which pulls authority away from elected officials and gives it all to the administrator.
We wouldn't have that happen.
I know we don't, but,
That would not happen.
you know,
Not
they're,
the way our rights
I'm
are
not
changed.
saying you are, okay? But, you know, there, some of the suggestions, one suggestion that was made to me was we want to look hard for a Kansas-based firm, because if this company did try to do something wrong in what was implemented or whatever, then the Attorney General can do a lot more to help us if it's an in-state company rather than an out-of-state company. I mean, they've got a situation going on in Fort Smith, Arkansas right now that's one of their projects that the commissioner signed a 2-page document, and then when the document came back, it's a 23-page document, total different direction than what the commissioners signed for. But part of that document is that they're given the authority over to the administrator, so they don't even know if they've got grounds for a lawsuit to go back and try to correct this. So I want to just be very careful where we try to choose from, because this, you know, part of their deal, and I helped, Angel Cushing helped fight this in Lyon County, and I was involved too. I mean, part of that proposal was to outlaw barbed wire in Lyon County. So I'm not very receptive to anything that has to do with their agenda. So that's my concern.
Well, and once again, this is all speculation, because we haven't even voted to do anything with it yet either, so.
Yeah, we haven't really, it hasn't really been out there long enough to even get feelers out for anybody to start calling.
Right.
So, and I can ask Russ also too, on the contacts he has that are, I don't know if they're APA members or not, I won't speak to that, but he has several contacts that he was gonna send it out to, and I don't know the specifics on where they're located. But I can ask him to kind of help us guide us toward a Kansas company if that's what you guys would like to see preferred.
If at all possible, and maybe that's not possible, I mean, maybe that's.
Yeah, that may not be, I don't know.
Not sure yet.
Yeah. Did you, and we visited about this at one time, Wade, did you have any thoughts on that?
So at the same time, and Heidi will remember, at the same time a consultant was being discussed, comp plan was also being discussed, and some names had been identified to potentially potentially send out RFPs for a comp plan. I know there were several that were what I'll call local within this geographic region, and there were several, maybe a couple that had specifically been identified that deal with or have dealt with communities and counties similar to the size of Coffee County, and they've done it before. So I think casting a wide net and then making a decision based on the RFPs that are presented to who it is that you want or that meets the needs of the county. That's what that interview process is for. I don't think anybody but Don and maybe Tom were involved when, for example, the architect for the jail was selected, and then subsequent to that, the construction manager, River City was selected, but there were presentations and then interviews and then a selection process that helped identify who the applicant was that best met the needs of what the county was looking for. So just because they apply doesn't mean you have to select them. And I think having the ability to review what everybody has to offer, whoever it is, let's say you get 15 applicants, well, it's better to have 15 than than 2, and then you're stuck with 2, and maybe you have to pick the lesser of 2 evils. In this instance, you get to see what everybody has to offer, and what everybody has to offer as you review those applications or those RFP proposals, then you may see something in one that may generate questions to another applicant, or you want to see put into that proposal. So the beauty of it all is you get to make that selection at the end of the day, and I understand your concern, and I think those concerns are very right for today's day and time. And you know, if somebody comes in and their proposal has a slant that you don't have confidence in, then let's say there's 15 applicants and you want to interview 5, then you take that one and send the letter out saying we've decided to not interview you and go in a different direction.
And I don't want you to take this, I don't have any problem with what you or Russ have done or whatever. I just, these things just came to my attention, and I just, you know, something we need to be wary of moving forward.
The APA is just an organization. So yeah, they might stand for all those things, but it's the members is who we'd be reaching out to, and it, not necessarily having the APA itself do it.
Right,
To clarify.
Right.
So, but doesn't mean you have to use them like Wade said either. So if it comes back and we don't like their ideologies or whatever.
We're looking at the we're looking at the applicant, not them. I understand what you're saying, but I just, if they're supporting
those
their
things,
agenda,
gotcha.
you know, they support 30 by 30, you know, 30% of land under government control by 2030. You know, that's all part of, I could go on and on. The list is long and stupid. Yeah. So that's all I have. I appreciate you coming up.
Yeah,
So.
no problem. So I'll just keep plugging forward, and I'll try to find some local companies, like he said, we reach out to them and send our RFP out to them as well, individually, and then kind of get with Russ to make sure I'm not sending out someone he already sent to as well.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Heidi. Okay, now we're going back to Wade, around
You
here.
saw I had a stack.
I see that you had a stack.
Oh, boy, won't let us down.
Well, I'm sure it's more jail discussion.
I see McElroy's on the back.
What's some of those stacks?
Oh, this is,
So this is what I'm handing out, revisiting change order number 19. The numbers have been corrected to reflect, I mean, really all it was in the first page, the $7,298 that was the total. I think on the previous version it was 7,222, so those two numbers didn't match up. Nothing else changed. That ended up being a typo of some sort. But what this has also turned into is I wasn't aware until after last week's meeting that when either Ryan or Cole was here, there were some questions that were asked related to the change orders that probably should have been more directed at the time when the change orders were on the agenda. The individual who deals with the change orders is Cole, not Ryan. So Ryan his role is sort of to make sure that things continue and are running smoothly as far as the construction side of things goes. Cole is a little more into the number side of things. He's the one who I go over pay applications, I go over change orders with. But if I have specific questions regarding change orders, then he has to reach out to Goldberg or Petrova or whoever it is that ties to that change order and then get back with me. For example, if you recall the one that stands out where the question was asked and it was early on, maybe change order number 2 or 3 or 4, the battery backup, I believe Jesse had asked the question, well, why wasn't that included as part of the original generator? Why do we have the battery backup? And it was a good question. So I went back and said, there's a question, I need this answer. And if you remember going back in time, the answer was it needed to be a battery backup because if the power ultimately goes out and it wasn't designed to deal with
Elevators or something?
the elevators.
Yes.
These battery backups, it's a better option moving forward to have the battery backups, but if they fail and be replaced, you don't want to have to replace that entire generator. So, and I probably have butchered that in the way I described it, but there was a reasonable explanation that I believe everybody was satisfied with.
And it did have to do with the elevators, if I remember right.
It did.
That was part of the concern.
I didn't know why we needed a battery backup on the elevators when we had a generator to supply the jail with
Right.
electricity
Yeah.
if the power goes out.
Yeah,
And I,
right.
which still didn't really, I guess, agree with it,
I'm with you, Jesse.
you know, but who am I to?
I understood it a little better,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is for any change orders, if you have any issue with change orders, let me know, and I will get the right people in to answer your
Okay.
questions. So that these guys, they're doing what they're told, and they're checking, you know, if I have questions with the pay application, I talk to Cole, and Cole says, well, I'm gonna give a call. Now, Cole and I have a strong enough working dialogue that he knows what I'm asking before I'm even asking it now, and he has the answer. So when I ask him, well, where is this figure coming from? But if you see on a pay app, you're not satisfied with the explanation that I'm getting and the notes that I make, to let me know, and I'll pull the layers back to the onion and get those answers the best I can.
Okay.
But I'm trying to make sure that this whole process is as transparent as it can be, and I think to an extent, from what they have explained to me, this is something that, this process is something new for them, because normally it just comes through and it's presented and there's not the explanation and dialogue the way there is here. But early on, as each of you know, I've been a part of this process from the beginning, and one of the chief concerns, and I don't know whether it was a complaint, but it was a concern, they're gonna change order you to death to try to get as much money as they can, and then these pay apps, if you don't pay attention to them, then they're just gonna nickel and dime you here and there. And if your ultimate maximum price is $30 million, they're gonna go 299,999, and you may have a penny left. I can tell you from my experience, they're being very judicious about the money that's being spent. And when they have a change order, between the sheriff and I, we are letting them know what our expectations are before it even makes it to you.
Right.
There better be a very good reason why there's a change order. And I don't like change orders, I don't like seeing them, but the ones that have come through, I'm confident that they have been necessary for the project. Do you want to see them? Absolutely not. But every project of this nature will have a contingency fund to cover these type of issues that come up as construction occurs. And you'd like to think they can catch everything, but they don't catch everything, especially in the initial bids. And with that being said, this conversation has extended even further that I've requested Goldberg to come and explain the whole contingency and change order process. So Sidney Goldberg and Derek Tomey, who sign off on all of these, I believe they're going to request to be on the agenda next week with the sole purpose of coming in and talking about this process and how it works, because these have to go through them as well before they even make it to River City to be signed, both the pay apps and the change orders.
A lot of eyes looking over it.
Well, there's a lot of eyes, and there should be. I mean, I tell them all the time, whether it's in the contingency budget or not, I mean, ultimately it's taxpayer money. It's your money, my money, and I want to make sure if that money is being spent for anything, I don't care if it's a roll of toilet paper, that it's necessary and needed as it relates to this project. This idea that there's this fund that's out there and it's a pool of money that can be pulled from if needed, that doesn't settle well with me.
Right.
At the end of this, whatever's left in the contingency comes back to the county, or it could be applied to phase 2.
Yeah.
For the, so I've made that crystal clear in numerous conversations in the meetings I've been a part of. So that's not something you want to bring up with me, because I take that position very strongly. If I'm coming to you and I'm presenting anything that has to do with spending money, and I want to make sure you're satisfied from your perspective that I've gone through and I've vetted it, because I'm putting my initials or my seal of approval on it, which in the grand scheme of things doesn't mean much. It's your blessing, but at least it's gone through certain layers before it gets to you.
So last week we tabled, this was 19, but I don't see a approval or on number 9. I don't see a motion on change order 9. Is that just an old one that's used to copy and paste on 9 below the change order 19?
I think that was a template.
Yeah,
That's just your template?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would, now that 19 is back in front of you, I would request that the board approve and for the chairman to sign change order 19 regarding construction related to the Coffee County Law Enforcement Center as approved by River City Construction. And that would change from September 9th to 19th since it's been revised, with costs associated with potential change order number 20, which includes contract document revisions associated with RFIs 41, 47, 49, 58, and 66, including additional costs associated with the following: RFI 41, grease interceptor piping; RFI 47, piping clarifications; RFI 49, ICU-1 toilets; RFI 58, makeup air unit gas piping; RFI 66, mechanical room gas connections, with a total of $7,298 to be deducted from the project construction contingency, with no change in the project guaranteed maximum price of $25,712,885.00.
Now, those last 5 change orders we haven't seen yet.
Which last 5?
41 through 66.
The 41, 47, 49,
Are
58.
those technically change orders?
Those aren't change orders.
Okay.
The potential change order is the internal River City change order, and this is where it gets confusing because they had their own tracking mechanism.
Okay,
This is
yeah.
our change order 19, their potential change order.
Okay.
But the RFIs are specific to that internal potential change order. And if you look through the documents,
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
that's where they fall into those documents. So if you need a deeper dive than that,
But we seen the change order last week, but it was 7222 and 7298.
So-
This is the maximum amount, we still, the cash we pay them is gonna be less than that because of the retention.
that's for a pay application. So the pay application that you covered last week was
Okay.
for the pay that goes to River City for last month. So that was the $1.233 million. This ties to something different. This is being subtracted from that construction contingency, but it also is included within a pay app. This doesn't pay anybody. This just this allocates that money. Then when you get the pay app, this is right. So if you go back through and you look at the document, the pay app from last month, there's a whole section on the spreadsheet, and I don't have it in front of me, that covers all the prior change orders.
Right.
So Don, for example, in the document that you have, and it's halfway through, when it talks about RFI 41 is the first one, in Trova, this is their response to RFI 41. So RFI 41 covers grease interceptor piping clarifications, and it goes through and says, the response to the contractor's request for information is intended only to clarify the contract requirements. It shall not be construed as relieving the contractor from compliance with the contract plans and specs. This instrument does not authorize any change in the contract sum or contract time or request. Please refer to the attached drawing with questions per conversation between RCC, which is River City Construction, and Trova on March 22nd, 24. That's how long ago that question occurred. And the response, 1, 2, and 3, the piping type changes is acceptable as long as the PVC does not extend into plenum graded areas above floor. 2, the grease interceptor is acceptable as is. 3, the waste tie-in from the kitchen waste after the grease interceptor may be relocated to the spot indicated on plans included with the original RFI. If tie-in is relocated, the red highlighted piping may be eliminated. End response. So to each one of, and then there's some documents.
There's some details, there's diagrams after that.
So anytime you have the RFIs and the change order, you're gonna have the documents that tie to it. The same thing occurred with the battery backup when we talked about that, and you just requested additional clarification. So you can do that on any of these, but I'd request you do that through me, and then I can get the answer, because it has to go through several different sources to get that information, and it depends on what the change order ties to and what the request is. So, does that help answer your question, or make it more muddy?
Yep.
I'm trying to make it as easy as possible.
There's a huge amount of diagram changes here, just in order to satisfy those 5 different RFIs, so.
It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to make sure all these things are done, and that's why I only bring 3 of them at a time to you. I've got change order number 20 that I recently received, and we haven't gone through and vetted this one, so I'm not prepared to present it to you.
And to go through and read all the diagrams, I'm not capable of reading all those diagrams, as, you know, we just gotta
Gives us
trust.
a little idea what they're talking about.
We
maybe,
just gotta
that's
trust
about
the
it.
people we're working with.
That's right.
To a point.
And once again, Wade, I want to thank you for all of your scrutiny and vetting of all of these payouts, and
your efforts above and beyond, and I appreciate it.
You can, thank both of my late parents. Growing up with, my dad, I tell him, man, it's cold in here, can you turn on the heat? Turn up the heat, and he'd say, I think you need to put another layer of clothing on. He wasn't interested in turning up the heat, and so, because he didn't want to spend the money.
Yeah.
So I am all about making sure, when it comes to taxpayer money, I want to make sure that there's a level of confidence that things aren't just being signed off on and just willy-nilly, that they're being looked into, and not everybody's going to agree with decisions that are made when it comes to expenditures and that type of thing, but I want to be able to lay my head down at night and know that I did my part to help vet these and that. So I appreciate your compliment, but I take this very seriously, and I take pride in making sure by the time it makes it to you that it's been looked over.
Well, I come from that same school that you were taught in, so, yeah, the easiest dollar you make is the one you save, so.
Well, with all that being said, I would move to approve change order number 19
I'd second that.
as Wade read.
Yes.
Any further discussions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. And this is the one I need to sign, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What else you got for us, Wade?
That's it. Covered quite a bit today.
We did. I didn't know if we'd be out of here by noon, but it was just a thought. Angie, you got any rent to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The agenda just ended at 10.
Yeah.
I do have a couple things for you. So, you saw you have someone who resigned from the library board. So I'm assuming you want me to go ahead and post it on Facebook and put a notice in the paper.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know, what date do you want those back by?
Well,
We'll make it
let's go ahead some time.
end of October,
Yeah.
November 1st.
Yeah, that sounds good.
When was
Yeah.
when was that individual to expire? This is to fulfill an unexpired term.
Yeah, I think you just appointed her not too long ago.
Well, if my recollection's right, I think you're right, yes.
Yeah, you just appointed her, well, she'd be up in 2027.
Oh, library board. Yeah, so she just the first of 24, the first part of the year. we
Yeah.
did. So fulfill the
Unexpired term.
unexpired term for 3.5 years, basically.
So November 1st then?
I would say November 1st, give it a good 30 days, don't you guys?
Yes.
So
Yeah, I think.
it says we try at large, but try to do by district. Where's this, does she have what's her location?
3.
Okay. Okay, duh.
That's your district.
Is that where she lived at then?
Don't give me mine.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I just know she was representing
District 3.
her district.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just do a 30 days or 1st of November. And we've still got the planning board.
Yeah.
They had a meeting last Wednesday, I did not make it, I did visit with Heidi, and they was just gonna be doing some discussion, and I don't know if they come up to any, terms of number of members. You know, they'd have to redo their bylaw, I think, because it does state 9, I think, was you there?
Yes. It was
So I
brought
won't,
up.
I won't speak on that, I'll let whoever.
Yeah, it was brought up and discussed about the membership number, and they decided to stay at 9.
Stay at 9, so we've got two open slots.
Yeah.
I'd suggest, maybe you have that on your agenda for next week when Huguenot's back, so that you can,
Yeah.
Okay.
that was one of the reasons why things were put off. Jesse, you were gone, and then Tom's been gone, and you want to have a full board to be able to make that decision.
Right. So we probably go to executive session, we're discussing personalities, et cetera, correct?
Yeah, we can go into executive session and discuss the applicants, right?
And you have, and then I got a message from, Goldberg, and they request to be on the agenda at 11 o'clock next week to be Sidney Goldberg and Derek Tomey, I think, to provide an update and discuss the change order process. I don't know what's on the agenda for next week, but
Is the energy or the solar people gonna be here also next week?
Yes,
So,
no, they changed.
so next
Well,
week.
they changed it a week ago to the
They were supposed to
30th.
be on this week, right? It never called in, I don't think.
Well, they moved to
To the 30th.
the following week, I think.
Yeah, they told me, Harrison, they got it set for the 30th.
Okay. Oh, yes. Well, they're not, wait, hold on.
I just seen it that one time on the
Okay,
agenda,
yeah.
and then it went away.
They are here.
For the
The 30th,
right,
I'm
I was
sorry.
pretty sure.
Yeah, I was hiding behind my other appointment, so, but yeah. And so 11 o'clock, please.
if it's not taken,
I have no
they said
idea.
late morning.
What time's that
It'll have to
gonna
be,
be on
11:30?
11 will work.
Okay.
You said a discussion of purchase order process.
It's, update and change
Or
order
change order.
process.
Change. Oh, I said purchase order. I think I'm done today.
I was done when I walked in.
Okay. So I've got that scheduled. Alright. I have already notified the cities of fall cleanup week 2, so they know. And I'll have it online, or I do have it online, I guess, and sent to the paper. And then lastly, December 3rd through the 5th is KAC, Kansas Association of Counties Annual Conference,
What's in that?
Wichita. So I was wanting to know if anyone wanted me to get them registered,
December the 3rd.
3rd through the 5th.
Can I let you know?
Yes.
Or does it need to be
registered, right?
Well, I don't know what the deadline is to get registered, but I know the sooner you get in, the sooner you'll have a hotel room. I mean, I could go ahead and tentatively book.
I wouldn't mind it too, but that was pretty interesting last year. Yeah, I think it was Hayes, right, last year. You went to Hayes last year, yeah, Wade went to Hayes. Yes. I got to meet some.
That's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at least, it don't conflict with
With their meeting day.
with the meetings.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Do you want me to book a couple of rooms tentatively until you give me
That'd be fine.
and then we can always cancel those as long as you do it?
I wouldn't mind going.
I don't think there's any reason for me.
Yeah, there's not.
I'll consider it, okay,
Okay.
I'll check with CC. It's in Wichita, you say?
Yes.
Last time I was in Wichita, I was out at the airport. I'm not sure where it's at now.
It'd be at the convention center downtown, I'm sure.
Probably.
Big convention center.
Okay, so I'll book 2 rooms tentatively, and then when you let me know, I can go ahead and get y'all registered, and
Very good.
so you'll have that. And I think that's all I have for you all today.
Nobody else has anything? Going once, going twice? Going 3 times? I don't have anything. Been watching the 50 highway project. Haven't been up there since the 3 1/4 inches of rain, but they did a heck of a lot better job of opening up the south side. Got the berm away from the area they're working on, you know, the shoulder area, cut diverters in it, the berm, so water wouldn't drain down the hill and divert in through the berm, so looks like they're doing a whole lot better job.
Good.
They did the cross pipes, drains that, like we talked earlier with Ryan, so that's the other thing I've had any dealings with, so. Nobody else has anything, we will adjourn at 12:43, because we sign checks and vouchers next week, right?
Yes, this Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Oh, we won't adjourn then.
You'll recess.
We'll recess at 12:43
Yeah, it's on,
Thursday.
on Thursday.
Okay.
That's Thursday the 26th.
Good catch.
Well, I was thinking we'd do it on the 30th, but.
Oh, that's the last day we can't.
Okay. So anyway, we'll adjourn at 12:43. No, we'll recess at 12:43. One more time. Recess. Until Thursday.
Going once.
Out.
Shut it off before you change your.
Shut it off before I screw up again.